Okay, I'm going to show you how to do a decrease on the loom with your wedges. And you can do this type of decrease with any other loom that has wedges. You don't have to have specifically the X loom. Alright, so this is just how I do it. I like to go ahead and move the wedge down one on all the pegs, because you don't have to do it quite like the increase where you have to work at each wedge at a time. Alright, so I go ahead and move it down. Then I go ahead and take that and move it over to the wedge pegs, the end stitches over to the wedge pegs. The reason I do this is because you're going to have a two-prong column, and it's going to be a column that's going to gradually work into it, and it has a more uniformity to it, just like the increasing. You can do it to where it's down here, but I don't find it has as clean of an increase look. I've done it both ways. I just don't think it has as a clean of an decrease look if you do it that way. But again, there's many a way to skin a cat. So, if that's how you want to do it, you can do it whatever way you want. This is just kind of like my way I do it. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to move my wedge peg down one notch on all of them. And this is how I generally prefer to do it, because I find that it works easier to do it that way. Okay, and then you just move those stitches in one, so that when you go around, and a lot of times say you don't want to lose your concentration as to what the heck you're doing, you can just go around and do your business. So like the seed stitch, you can go down. I find the seed stitch is really easy to decrease with. Increasing is a little trickier, but I find decreasing with a seed stitch is really easy. Okay, and we'll move it in one more time. Okay, and you just move it in like that. And no matter which direction you're going, all you're going to do is you're going to knit both those stitches together. So if you're going the left hand method or the right hand method, as you're going around the loom like you normally would, you're just going to lift both those stitches up. You may need to do one at a time. If you do, it's not a big deal. Okay. So for instance, I can do one at a time, but what your object is to lift up both stitches and pull them over, because it's a decrease. Okay? So, you can either do them both at once, or you can do them one at a time, but the object is to get both of them over. So as I said, the decrease is very easy compared to the increase. The increase is a little bit more labor intensive and needs more of a breakdown. Alright, so one at a time if you'd like. Okay, or you can sit there and do both at a time. See? Alright, so that is how you decrease. And again, on the increase, just like you do decreasing, you need to do a regular row in between your decrease rows. So if you're doing a seed stitch, you just continue that seed stitch. And if you are doing a regular knit, then you just do a regular knit and that kind of thing. Okay, so it's actually not difficult. Just make sure you do a row in between your decrease rows and your increase rows. Okay, it's the only thing to keep in mind. It makes it a lot easier doing things. Okay, so that is how you do a decrease on the X loom. And remember, if you have another loom with wedges, you do the same thing. Okay, so it's the same thing if you're working with one with multiple stitches on a wedge, say on a KB. You just take the outer stitches and move them into the end wedge pegs. Okay, and you'll get a nice uniform look that way. Okay, so that is how you decrease using a wedge.